Alright, it's time to do the Q&A I promised. I got some pretty good questions. I've picked 7 of them to answer today. I don't know if I'm going to do this again in the future, but, if I do, you can still ask questions about what's going on in computers, security, malware, all of that. Alright, so the first question comes from GhostRecon141, and he asked, what was your primary inspiration to make videos about rogues? Well, I've had 2 inspirations, really. We're going to talk about the first one here. Alright, when I started making videos back in early 2009, my primary inspiration was simply the coolness of rogues. And from what I can remember, there were only 2 other YouTube channels doing anything close to what I was doing, which was testing rogues on a regular basis from one channel. And that was Enigma Software, which turns out was pushing a questionable antivirus product called Spy Hunter, and the other one was PC Threat. But both of these channels were surrogates for another service on their website or a blog or something. There were no independent channels like mine. And I thought rogues looked pretty cool. The technology was really interesting, and it was really original back then. But after several months, my focus turned to the more sensible thing, which was helping people know what these threats are. And granted that a lot more people know about internet security in 2010 compared to, say, 2006, there's still a rather large population that say, oh look, antivirus found 25 threats. I'm going to buy this program to clean these infections that this thing just told me about. And just recently I was reading a thread on the Malwarebytes forums. Somebody's IT administrator accidentally bought a license for a rogue called Privacy Center. And reading stuff like that just shows me that there are people that still don't know about this and still need to be educated about internet threats and especially rogues. And doing that is my primary focus. Alright, our next question is about Zeus. He asks, as of last week, a new Trojan called Zeus 3 has stolen over $1 million from infected computers. Reports say that no antivirus can detect it. Are antivirus companies losing to malware creators? Well, before we can answer this question, we need to talk a little bit about what Zeus is and what it's been able to do. Zeus is a botnet Trojan that's been circulating around for some years. And by botnet Trojan, I mean that when you get infected by this, you'll be under the remote control of a bot owner, and they can do all sorts of things. And it's been circulating around for some years, and it's infected over 100,000 computers. And it actually has a toolkit, meaning that the original author of Zeus would literally sell kits to people, and they'd sell it for like $500 to $1,000, and it would give them enough tools to set up their own web server, and which would be known as a command and control server. And they could build their own Trojans and build their own configuration files so that they don't contact certain sites or anything like that. And then the bot owner, like I said, will have total control over a machine, and they can do key logging, they can steal info, and they can even kill a Windows install. So if something bad happens, they can just pull the plug on your machine and you'll have to reinstall Windows. But what we saw last week was a synchronized attack where thousands of already infected computers with Zeus had their bank details acquired and began transferring money out to intermediary accounts called money mules. And then from there they went to the bot owner's bank account, and the theft was reported to be a total of $1 million over the thousands of computers that were infected. And yes, it's a bad thing to happen, but I'm sure bank details have been acquired for some time, and I'm sure that money has been stolen over 3 years. It's got to be at least millions of dollars. And to answer the question, antivirus companies and malware creators, it's cat and mouse all the time. And right now, today, the Zeus creators are one step ahead. Nothing we can do about that right now. Alright, question number 3 is, what is your favorite rogue, and in what way is it your favorite? Right now I have 2 all-time favorite rogues, and I haven't even been able to test either of them. They are named Nortel Antivirus and Makate. And as you can tell by the names, they're both ripoffs of Norton and McAfee. But they don't try to make their own GUI. Instead, they try to match Norton and McAfee as close as they can. And I think they did a really good job at that. And because they're both related to Green AV, they have the same, the fake blue screen of death and all of that. And just look at the screenshots. These things mean business. And I've asked a lot of people in the know, hey, have you seen this? Do you have a sample of it? Seems like nobody does. And that's how cool this rogue is. It's ultra rare, and it's awesome. Alright, question number 4 is, what has been the hardest to remove rogue you can recall encountering? Well, at the time when blocking executables was a brand new concept to rogues, Spyware Protect 2009 is probably the hardest rogue I've ever tried to remove. But this really isn't saying much, since I rarely even attempt to remove malware. Instead, I go down the path of reformat and reinstall. But yes, Spyware Protect 2009 and its variants, including Antivirus Soft, Antivirus Solution Pro, Security Suite. You know, they incorporated a lot of ways they rooted themselves into a machine, making it hard to remove, including, you know, redirecting searches in every browser, disabling Task Manager and regedit, infecting removable drives, even installing rootkits so that once you remove it, it just comes right back. And it should be noted that a variant of Configure Worm would actually drop Spyware Protect 2009. So that's definitely the hardest to remove rogue that I've seen. Alright, next question is, what is the best antivirus and spyware app do you know of? It has to be free. Well, in the couple of years that I've been learning about internet security and malware, there's pretty much one thing that's really stuck out, and it's remained true for such a long time. If you're going to rely on your antivirus program to protect you from threats, it's going to be your downfall. Because if you're going to browse the net without being aware of threats and having the false sense of, you know, I'm not worried my antivirus will kill this threat no matter what, you're pretty much asking to get burned by something. But since most antivirus programs include an anti-spyware module, I would recommend Avast Free version 5. And I know there's plenty of other free solutions out there, but Avast seems like the most robust security you can get for free. Next question. The fight between real security software producers and fake security software producers has been going on for a long time. Who do you think is winning at the moment, and why? This one pertains to rogues and not just the whole broad thing. But yeah, like I said before, there's been a struggle between the good guys and the bad guys, you know, ever since computers first came out. And between late 2005 and 2008, anti-malware companies were in a bad way. These fake alert Trojans were infecting tons and tons of computers, and antivirus programs were having a tough time detecting and removing them. But, you know, 2009, 2010, they're really getting good at it, and the good guys are winning for, I think, 4 key reasons. The first one is consumer awareness. A lot more people are able to detect this scam now than, say, in 2006. Definitely more people are aware of this. And the next one is that antivirus programs are picking up rogues much more frequently than before. That's more of an effect of, you know, time. You know, it's seen a bunch of rogues, it knows its behavior. Behavioral analysis also helps. And the third one is also an effect. You know, there's less rogues in the wild right now than this time last year. Definitely. I'm only seeing something like maybe 1 or 2 rogues a week, where before I'd get one like every other day. And I believe the most important reason why the good guys are winning right now is because of Malwarebytes anti-malware. It is the bee's knees when it comes to removing fake security programs. definitely. The detection rate is very high. It's a very simple program. It's free. You know, there's a lot of updates come out all the time. It's really useful. And that's what most people use to remove, is Malwarebytes. That's the easiest thing. So yes, I think the good guys are winning right now. Alright, last question is, would you try to make a rogue modification and make a completely new rogue? Personally, I really have no interest in making my own rogue simply because, well, two reasons. It goes against what the channel is for, and I'm not a programmer. And I know a lot of people like to use Visual Basic, but if I were to do something, it would have to be done right. And I don't want my program to look like a script kiddie piece of shit. But I know people out there that can probably make their own fake antivirus program and make a really good one and make a really funny one. Look, if you can make a good-looking one, I'm gonna test it. And that is pretty much it for this Q&A. I might have to do another one soon. Probably next week. You know, you can keep submitting questions if you want to. I'll go ahead and remove the ones that have already been answered. And thanks for watching these videos for so long. You know, it's been fun making them.